What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Motorculture Australia. My name's Tom, and today we're going back down to the Gold Coast to meet with Kyle from Eldon's Auto Barn and check out his car. So stay tuned, we'll get straight into it. Alrighty guys, I'm here with Kyle today and we're checking out Kyle's, well, how else do you put it, his very unique Mk5 Golf, and Kyle's virtually built this car from the ground up, so we're going to have a bit of a chat about how it looks, what's been done to the car, and then talk a little bit about performance and the modifications on the car. So Kyle, the wrap and the wheels, mate, they stand out very distinctively. Can you tell us a little bit about what wheels they are and why you've gone for the colour and the style of the wrap that you've got?
Yeah, so these are Koya SF05 rims. They're a 18-inch rim, 8-inch wide, and I just love custom. I don't like fitting in with the crowd, so I went for a custom powder-coated candy apple red for the wheels, because I was always thinking about the car's originally reflex silver, and I wanted to do a wrap, and I knew I was going to have red, black and white in there, so obviously the red of the wrap is to match with the wheels there, and it just gives it a bit more of a pop. You see a lot of black, silver, white wheels going around. You don't see too much of colour with cars these days, so that was basically the reason I went with that sort of colour.
Yeah, and if you have a look at this, the way that it contrasts from the wheels all the way up to, as you said, that you've got the red, the black and the white, and even that touch of grey, the car, you can't miss it, but it looks awesome. I really like the colour combinations you've got there. It looks really, really cool. Alrighty guys, now we're around to the back of the car here. So Kyle doesn't have a standard Mk5 Golf rear end. Kyle, can you tell us a little bit about what you've got there, mate?
Yeah, so obviously the standard rear end on these is just a little epoxy exhaust coming out the left side. Wanted something a bit more aggressive, so I've decided to put a R32 bar on that. I really like how the R32 Golfs look and sound. So then we've done a centre Y-piece exit there with carbon fibre tips. Yeah, just gives it a bit more of an aggressive stance.
It does. The inspiration from the R32, as you said, they are really nice looking cars, so it's come off pretty well. I like that a lot. Right guys, this is where this car is really, really impressive. So Kyle's built this car virtually from the ground up. So the list of mods here is far too long for us to go over. We're never going to have enough time to do it. But Kyle, if you can tell us a little bit about some of the key items and the key things that you've done, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no worries. So basically everything's been touched on this. There's nothing really standard to it anymore. Done full engine build, ported polished ports, forged rods, forged pistons, performance rings, you got your intake system, a full custom exhaust, and yeah, short shift kit as well, so for the H pattern just gives it nice bit of feel there. Even got racing brake fluid in that, so that's actually the same brake fluid they use in Formula 1 cars. And then the air filter is a tri-foam air filter as well, which is also the same as Formula 1 car as well.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So we know, we were talking before, you haven't gone for the most amount of power you can possibly squeeze out of the car, but you've gone with a very different approach as far as trying to make this car as nimble and as efficient on the track as you can. Can you tell us a little bit about why you've gone with that route and not sort of just packing as much power as you can?
Yeah. So basically the only thing I haven't touched on this is the turbo. So the next step of these is going to a KO4 turbocharger, but it creates a bit of lag. So most exciting thing about these cars is the response, and as soon as you come out of the corner, the power is just instant. It's almost like an anti-lag what you experience with a WRC car. So if I went to the bigger turbocharger and chased more power, it'd be good in straight lines, but it wouldn't necessarily be good around the circuit. And I find more fun in the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. But all right, guys. Well, we'll jump into the car. We'll go for a drive and see how it goes.
Yeah.
It sits really, really well on the road. The handling, it goes exactly where you want it to. Do you find that there's any body roll ever, or what are the drawbacks of having a car that handles this well and that you've done modifications on specifically to get the precision handling that you've got?
Yeah, so body roll, not too much. Real popular thing to do with front wheel drive cars is to do the rear sway bars, which I haven't touched yet. I haven't really experienced the problem. I've tracked this quite a few times now and don't really experience much body roll. I've got semi-slicks on here, so they really grip really well in the corners.
Yeah, I can imagine it's good, yeah. It's not as rough as I thought the ride would be.
No, yeah, so it's not like unbearable. It is going to be bumpier, obviously, than the stock suspension, but the way the racing line coilovers are built as well, they're really they're sort of like factory-like in a way.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're thrashing it around a track, they do stiffen up, and you get that performance there.
Don't get me wrong, it's a rough ride, but it's not. I thought it would sort of be, hurting my tailbone sitting in here, but it's actually surprisingly not too bad.
Yes, yeah, that's why I love it. The Golfs.
Yeah.
So the other thing I haven't really touched on with the engine is got hardened engine mount in there. So it's a race hardened engine mount, transmission mount, and a dog bone mount. And you can see there's no vibration in the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything's designed to work the way it should, and there's nothing over the top. So it's really good for a daily car as well as your, spirited driving if you're going on mountains. I still use this car as a family car. Baby loves it, sleeps in the back just fine.
Yeah. Well, as we said, the route that you chose with the modifications you've done was very unique. You did it for a very, specific reason to achieve specific goals, and it shows. The car is exactly what you said it is, and it's exactly what you would expect with the modifications that you've done, and it does sit very comfortably. As we sit here now, there's less vibration in this car than there is in the Mazda 3 that we drove down here today.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah, definitely. That's smooth, really smooth.
Yeah, so that's the other thing is with the way the tune's been developed is a nice linear sort of torque curve.
Yep.
So it's not just full-on boost aggressive straight away. Obviously, being front-wheel drive, we struggle to get grip to our front wheels, especially coming out the corners, and the open centre diff in these makes it really difficult. So it's about just doing a smooth gradual approach to the power delivery, and that's what gives us the fastest time possible around the circuit.
Yeah, and with the way the car rides, the package is awesome. It's such a smooth, enjoyable ride, and it plants itself really nicely into the corners, and the car's, as you said, it's perfect for a track.
Probably another thing as well is the fuel efficiency actually increased since I bought the car and modified it all.
Really?
It's so I think when I first bought the car, probably about 5-6 years ago now.
Yep.
It was averaging about 8.6 litres per 100 k's, but now I'll get 7.5 easy.
Jeez.
And with all the modifications and the tuning, everything that's gone into it, it just shows the capabilities of these sort of platforms. And
yeah, you definitely wouldn't expect to increase your fuel efficiency, especially if you're doing everything that would normally take away from that. So
that's right, yeah. Even with my aggressive right foot.
Yeah, see, people always talk about big power, but that's enough how that is there. Just the whole experience itself with that power, although it's not the most amount of power you'll ever see, That's really
That's
good.
right. And I mean, you see as it come out of corners, you can see the wheels are slipping anyway. So hunting more power is just going to be
Almost pointless, yeah.
You know, you need to try and grip with what you can anyway. Straight line, even with the semi slicks on that I have now, second gear will still spin.
Yeah.
So obviously hunting more power is not really much point if you can't put it down to the ground.
Yeah, that's right. I think with the linear build that you've got here, I think that would help obviously with the traction as well, because if it was just a huge, you know, outburst of power at once, you'd struggle.
100%, yeah.
Alrighty guys, as always, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments too, by the way, what you want to see more